Hello everyone, welcome to this video, and today we're gonna talk about Hawkeye episode 3 breakdown. And just to be clear, there will be spoiler in this video, so with that out of the way, let's get started. The episode starts off by showing us a bit of Echo's past. We see her in school and we clearly understand that she is deaf. And that is a big thing right there. Echo in the comic is deaf, and that is something that I like that the show exploring. Again, there is a few things that I like about it. The fact that she's talk with sign language, and I understand that she going to a school where none of the other kids have this type of disability, and her teacher don't think she's paying attention, but we learn that she is. Later, we see a sweet moment between her and her father, and again, I'm not gonna talk much about that moment. It's just a small, sweet moment, in my opinion. We also see her take some self-defense classes. We see her father telling her to be good in class, but the most intriguing with this scene is that this is the confirmation that Kingpin is in the Hawkeye show. Again, I don't think he will be the main villain. I don't think he will be other than this teasing and a post-credit scene. But again, and her father tells her that her uncle will pick her up after class, and we know that this uncle is Kingpin because, again, who else can it be? It has to be Kingpin. Just see how he takes her by the lip in a friendly manner, and the fact that they call him uncle. Oh, and we get other a few hints about it later in this episode. But again, this is the biggest belief I have that Kingpin has been shown now. Oh, I believe that Kingpin now officially is part of the MCU, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming Echo show because that will probably serve with Kingpin as its main villain. But I'm not gonna talk about that. Kingpin in the Hawkeye show, I really love it. We also see her training a bit later on, but I'm not gonna talk much about that. But what I'm going to mention, if you watch closely, you can see that Echo has a prosthetic limb, and after what I heard, the actor herself has a prosthetic limb. So this is really great to show that. Not only does they pay a bit of respect to the actor, they're also doing something completely new because I don't think Echo in the comic has a prosthetic limb. And then we see maybe the biggest and most important part. We see Ronan attacking the traffic mafia, and that is why they are after him. We also see that Ronan killed Maya's father. Of course, I don't really think this is Ronan. I think that this is someone Kingpin hired to kill Maya's father. I'm not sure why, but if that's the case, then this will really be a reason why Maya is out for revenge against Ronan. It is a bit sweet moment, but between her and father before he dies, he really is shown to be, even though he is a criminal, he may actually be a bit of a good person, not completely gangsters and evil. And the thing is, the reason why I think Kingpin wanted him dead is to maybe motivate Aya or Echo to be the bigger villain, to be a assassin or leader, or maybe her father just want to do things his own way, and that didn't fit well with Kingpin. The reason why I think he is one of Kingpin's men is that instead of Hawkeye. It's because during Hawkeye was Ronan, he did kill criminals, but he didn't kill good people. And Maya's dad has seen to be a good person, and that is why I don't think it's Hawkeye. Then we see a scene with Maya interrogating Clint and Kate, and this is where I start to feel her intimidation. And when Clint tried to convince her that Ronan is dead, which is partially true. After all, Ronan died because of Black Widow and Clint Barton returned. But Maya doesn't believe it, or she don't want to believe it. She starts questioning Kate, and when Kate says the same thing, or not exactly the same thing, that tried to convince her that she's not Ronan, Maya gets angry and grabs her by the throat. And then I can't remember the name of this character, but Maya, and I believe this is her second in command, stopping her from doing something. I think his name was Castle the Clown, or I think so. I know he's a member of the Dracula, and I know his character in the comics, but I don't remember his name. So that is that. At least he stopped Maya and tried to calm her down. While Maya and her second in command is talking, Clint gets the opportunity to free himself. A fight between Maya and Clint happened. I'm not going to talk much about this fight scene, but what I'm going to tell you is this fighting shows that Clint Barton is a good hand-to-hand combat, and that he knows how to hold his own in without his boy, even though Maya is better. And he gets his bow. Unfortunately, his hearing aid gets ruined, so even though he managed to get that as well, he managed to free Craig. Then together they start the escape. Then Clint and Kate get out and deciding which car they have. Kate goes, "Can we have this one?" I'm not missing a car like that. I'm sorry, I can't remember what the name of the car was, so I just have to say it that way. But if I remember correctly, Clint Barton in the comic has the same respect for that type of cars in the comics, so I feel like this was a great throwback to the comics. Well, they pick their car and they're starting to drive off. During the driving segment, we get to see Kate firing a bunch of different trick arrows, and I'm really loving her reaction. We have the acid arrow, we have the explosion arrow, we have other arrows as well, but I'm not gonna mention everyone. And this may be my favorite part of the entire episode, seeing all those trick arrows used by Kate Bishop. Now tell me in the comment section below, who amongst you don't love the Pym arrow? Okay, with all joking aside, when I saw this, I was well, wow! I really enjoyed that. Kate firing an arrow in the sky and Clint firing a Pym arrow at it, so the arrow grows enormous. It was pure genius. Kate and Clint making an awesome escape. I really loved them jumping off the bridge and ending up on that train. While Clint and Kate sit in the train, we're reminded that Clint can't hear Kate right now, and I think he's a bit relieved for that. And when Kate says she has to walk the dog, or she should, he's been cooped up in all day, she finds out that Clint can't hear her, and she's reminded of that. And again, that was a bit funny moment in my opinion. Nothing too big, but something I really enjoyed. And then we get the most emotional scene throughout this episode. Clint getting a phone call from his youngest son, but he can't hear him. And and Kate have to write down what the boy says, and we really see how this affects Clint. He can't hear his son, and we can see that that's bothering him, and he's really appreciate that Kate did this for him, wrote down the boy's words that way, and I think it's really shown Kate's character, and it's a really sweet moment in my opinion, a really emotional moment. Then we see Echo and the traffic mafia preparing to leave their current hideout. I really thought this was a clever move. After all, now the birds have been known or compromised. We also see her having a conversation with her second in command, and he's not agreeing with the way she runs things right now, that they weren't supposed to make this much noise. I learned that Echo's father was the former boss of the traffic mafia. I'm not gonna talk much about it, but once he tells him to remember who's in charge, you can see that that's really annoyed him a bit. It's really obvious that he doesn't think he can handle the job or keep her emotions check, and that is something I really enjoyed. Then we see Clint, Kate and Lucky waiting for someone, and we find out that Clint plans to have a hearing aid fixed, which is a really clever move, and we see Kate text him saying that this good thing they call you Hawkeye instead of Hawkeye, and Clint funny way click delete, block and delete, and this is just a small funny scene, but again can really create some enjoyment. The person that's gonna fix says she's only taking cash and it will take 5 minutes, and that's really it about it. After that we see Kate and Clint in some restaurant, and Kate talks to Clint about his costume. Clint funny reminds her that he's giving her 3 reasons why he's not gonna wear some costume, and I laughed a bit when he said the last one, that his wife would divorce him if he dressed like that. And we learn that Kate really looks up to Hawkeye, but Clint don't think he's a good role model. Kate says that he is, and again this is a small important scene who really set up both the characters. We know Clint for a while, but the fact that he don't think he's a role model, and this may have something to do with the Roman persona, is something I really enjoy. And Kate trying to give their dog a name, Pizza Dog. Lucky the Pizza Dog was the last name they come up with. Of course, she didn't name him Lucky, just Pizza Dog. And an enjoyable scene, in my opinion. We get another small scene, but one that set up the last scene or so, and that is Clint and Kate walking in the park with Lucky, and that is where they plan to infiltrate the Kate's mother's house to learn about the traffic mafia. And I really enjoyed it. Kate still believes that Jack is a villain, and I believe it can be, and at the same time I think it's a bit too obvious right now, but I believe it can go either way. Then Kate and Clint infiltrate their mother's house and try to figure out about the traffic mafia. We learn that Cassie, I think it was the name, yes, that's the writing, I'm sorry, but we learn that Cassie is an employee of Kate Mom, or whatever her Kate Mom's name was. I'm really sorry, I forget some of the names sometimes. So with that, I'm really sorry. But again, we learned that Cassie is working for Kate's mom, and that set up the fear that Kate's mom might be a villain. Maybe she is Madame Mask. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, but it is a possible. Clint is kind of surprised of how wealthy she is, and Clint take a walk to look around, and then he meets Jack at almost at the same moment Kate access gets denied. So convenient. Well, and next episode it might be revealed that Clint and Jack knows each other, and that's maybe the reason why Clint don't really believe he's a villain. Maybe. Again, it can go either way. And that is for this episode. How do you feel about Hawkeye episode 3? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys next time!